Hey everybody, we're going to get started on the weekend video. Before we do though, some things I wanted to change here. So going forward, I'm going to do this in one take every night, and we're going to use the scan site only to do it. So more so just to show you guys how this works. And also if I'm coming to this with I guess a mind where I don't have anything that I know already, then we can kind of think through it together. So we'll see how that goes. Maybe I don't do it again, maybe I do, but that's kind of the plan going forward. And without further ado, let's get started. So what we saw a lot of last week was a lot of 2-2 reversals on the decoupling of the week and month. It was very nice. So the utilities, if you were following the nightly vids, did really good. There's your 2-2 week, boom, and you still got the 2 going 3 month. Materials had the 3-2-2 week, still has the 2 going 3 month. The real estates are also poking up inside month and up. Healthcares took the month up with a 3 on the month, showing aggression, which takes the inside quarter up, which confirms the inside year up. So you healthcares or you quarterly guys, you want to know about that. If we go to financials, financials are taking inside month up, going into exhaustion risk at all-time highs, but they are inside month and inside year in force this month. If we go to the industrials, industrials also took the month up. If we go to the staples, staples are also rev stratting a little bit weaker, so we're not seeing much rotation into there compared to a lot of the rest of the stuff. If we go to the gold, gold is inside month and up, went 2 up week to start, so we're going to keep an eye on that. We got a silver, 2 up week to start, did come back in a little bit, but also breaking the month and up, which confirms the material sector. If we go and make sure the discretionaries are hammer with previous range to come back through inside year to the upside with the hammer month in force all month or all quarter, I mean. And that's going to be mostly your Tesla here with the quarter going up. It's already hit its magnitude, but here's your big three. So going into next week, Tesla, want to know about that. There's your triangle out. Looking for it to come back up here and confirm that quarter. If we go to the biotechs along with the healthcares, those are taking the quarter hammer to the upside, confirming a yearly hammer. So we got the healthcares and biotechs going, and pretty much everything else in the market going. Besides, if we go to tech, tech last week had kind of a soft week, so we'll see if that turns into a 2-2, specifically the semis, because you got this 3-2-2 shooter setting up. So we might continue to see rotation out of tech and into other sectors. It's not market crash or anything, obviously, but if they're going to keep doing that, below this, 270, looking for 255.66, which would be, a pretty good move. So we'll keep an eye on the semis, and therefore, let's go and hit the strat site. So in the tech, which will include the semis, we can look for shooters on the week, like so, and we can also look for 3-2-2 shooters. So how many do we got? Oops, take that off. So we got Dell. If we just go shooter in general, we got a few KLAC, LRCX, MCHP, and then NTAP in the tech. So these three will have the shooter week: KLAC, LRCX, MCHP. KLAC on the week, a little bit of a shooter. MCHP, a little weaker, so did not take last month's highs. Therefore, it's closer to taking the month down. And I don't want to forget MCHP, LRCX, KLAC. LRCX, also a little bit of a 2 up in red shooter towards the top of the range. So we'll see. Obviously, you still got pretty good higher time frame continuity on this stuff. So those are going to be the laggards or the weaker ones. If we go to the inside weeks in there, there might be a few in the tech also inside. So we'll see. You got some Adobe, which has the quarter going. So we'll take a look at that. And let me filter by direction so we can remove duplicates. But in here, you got MU inside week. So that's going to be the weakest chip that we got. If we go here, MU did not rally last week. So if chips are going to start coming back in, this is where we'd want to be because you take the shooter month down below this. So we'll keep an eye on that. If we go to the rest of this stuff, Adobe, want to know about that one. So Adobe inside week sets up 3-2-2 for Monday if they're going to start bringing this back up. And you got this quarterly 3-2-2. So daily would reconfirm this quarter if they're going to get the tech moving. Obviously, it's in the tech sector, so it's a maybe since we see some weakness in there. We'll also see Microsoft in there. So inside week, Microsoft 3-1, looking for the 3-1-2. If we go to any of these other ones, Shopify 3-1 as well. You notice double inside month still, so they're chopping them up. lower time frame inside bars inside higher time frame inside bars. So it's not the best thing in the world. If you go to CDNS, also 3-1, and you'll see they're chopping them up here too. So not too much to go after besides maybe Adobe and then MU in the chips. If we go into the healthcares, since we know those are really gunning, I don't know if we have a biotech in here. Yeah, so just healthcares. We want to look and see, do we have weekly signals for next week there? And ideally bullish. So remove the duplicates. We'll have AbbVie, 3-1. So that's something I want to know about above this, up in there. Let me see if I can get that perfect number for you. So above 171.63, we'd like to know. If you go to BMY. So it's a little weaker, inside week down at the lows below 39.50, and it's at the bottom of its big yearly tries, so it's not my favorite there. But it does show potentially institutional selling still going on here since the rest of the healthcare is going up. If we go to BSX, inside week all-time highs, but you can see this one's got bright green year continuity, so that could keep going. If we go to COR, you'll see this. So this is what we really want on the list going into next week. COR 2 down 1. So this inside week here will either confirm direction 3 on 2 down, which takes the month down, or negate back into this 3. So if healthcare is going to keep going up, this one above 225.51, we'd like to know. The last one in here that I really do like is SYK. So above this, we definitely want to know. 340.99, and then you got Pivot Machine Gun in here, which could outside bar the month and potentially take the quarter up. At this point, it's still a green year. So that would reconfirm the year. And therefore, CR, SYK, those are 2 at the top of my list, and then we'll keep an eye on the other ones if they show up on the Inforce scans next week, Monday. In the utilities, and this is one I've got some heavy size in myself. In the utilities, I just want to show you this. You can scan the 2 down with full time frame continuity to the upside. So you have a lot of rev strats on the month. Here's all your rev strats on the month. So as long as these stay green and look like this, all of these are going to look very good. If we go to any of these, like PCG, for example, potential outside month, we want to know about that. So if they go 2 up next week, they'll reconfirm all the reversals that occurred this week. And in the utilities, you'll also have that yearly signal that goes back and forth to target all-time highs. So we definitely want to know about that. More of like an inflationary type trade or more defensive trade, but they're definitely green to start the quarter here. So we definitely want to definitely pay attention to these. And then the 2 strongest will be D in here. As far as on like a gain basis, we're going to see D really got going on the Utes, and then Duck, which has really got going on the Utes, going into exhaustion risk at the top of the try. So next week, we'll want to see, does this stuff start expanding those tries if it looks like Duck or any of the other ones that may go into recent highs. One I have a really big position on is SO, which you're going to see on the daily here. Notice they close outside of that broadening formation for me, so I'm looking for that, and then we'll see what happens from there. If you go to the year, the reason I'm trading SO is because you got the year in force. It is all-time highs. Be aware of that, but they're reconfirming it with the potential 3-month into all-time highs. So got some stuff there, as well as Duck, as well as XLU. If we go to then the other kind of side of that trade with the energies, going into next week, this is really the only reversals you're going to see by sector. So maybe a 2-2-2 in the energies. And what we mean when we say that is it went 2 up, then it went 2 down. Now it could go 2 up again. And since it went 2 up, 2 down first, we have a broadening formation here. So if we can get up and out of that above 92.18, it could get gunning through the Pivot Machine Gun and confirm the rest of the market. At this point, though, it's an inside month, so we'll have to see if that changes. Go to XOP, also just depot inside month, same 2-2-2 setting up. OIH, little bit stronger. I don't know why the week looks like that. It shouldn't. See if we got a problem in here. Yeah, so not sure what's going on here, but inside week, and then they didn't do too much. I don't know if that's correct or not, but if we go to the month, this one could also become the month up, but all ones to start after the first 2 weeks. So we'll see, but that's going to be really like the only sector we got a ton of weekly reversals setting up in. And I really like the Utes. If we go into the healthcares, we can look in the healthcares here and see who is in force on the quarter, and these will be the ones we'll have the rest of the quarter. So CTLT and AMGN, those are going to be the 2. So we can take a look there. You have the quarterly 2-2 AMGN, and then it looks like it had they just bought it all week, Tuesday through Friday, and it's going to be, you can see from the 3, 2 down, 2 down, 2 up month in here with the earnings, they take that out. So We could draw it like this, but we'll have to continue redrawing it as it goes higher. But as long as we're above this 3 in here at 329.72, that's still something we want to know about. Just all-time highs. We go to CTLT. CTLT, this is from the quarterly macro vid we talked about. So above 57.20, we'd like to know about that one. Did have some pretty hefty profit taking, so we'll let them triangle out if they're going to get that one moving. And your try is going to look something like such. So you can see it looks like this now. We got to get out of that. Closer to going pivot machine gun next week, so we'll let them open. If we go to the month, you're going to see we have a few more in here. So HOLX, VTRS, and then what BAX will be the three biggest gainers in there to pay attention to. If we go and just look at 2 up on the month in healthcares, you see we have 22 names total to the upside, and those 3 that we just mentioned are still going to be looking like the bigger gainers here. Let's see if we click on one of these. Yeah. But what we'll see is here, ILMN, you got the monthly pivot machine gun in the healthcares there. So that could be something we want to know about if we get the triangle out into next week. And this is all going to be turnaround Tuesday stuff we'll talk about. Pod. You see, this one's got a little bit of an issue. Mother bar stuck. Does have the quarterly rev strap potentially, but it's a soft rev strap. And I'm just picking out the ones I know so we don't waste too much time in here. VRTX, just going continuation. So we'll let them set up some new daily signals. There's no need to rush into that right away. But those inside bars that we looked at previously with the PMGs, that's something I want to know about. So SYK and COR. We also know the financials are going month in up. So in the XLF, you're going to have a lot of things going. Morgan Stanley is going to be one of the biggest gainers in there, and we traded that one last week. And then you'll also have Goldman Sachs in there, and then SCHW in there. And those are the main ones I'm going to be focusing on going forward. There's also JP Morgan, so you can keep an eye on that too. And those are all just going to look the same. So if you just click on any of those, Morgan Stanley, you'll see this. So here's your inside month hammer. Boom, off they go into the races. And you're going to see coming into the top of the monthly try. But if that starts expanding, we can look to take out this at 109.73. So it still's got range to go into these guys. Most people too scared to buy up here. We're not. So we just need to get a new signal to get it going. And if we go and look at any 60 try in here, you'll see to end the week, this is what it looks like. So can you come back through that next week is our question. Outside of that, we go to materials. And I didn't trade too much of the materials this month, but NEM and SHW are going to be your 2 biggest gainers, taking last month's highs. So NEM, 222. Triggers, the quarterly continuation. And this one used to be a lot higher, 85. So we can keep an eye on that. If we go to SHW, you're going to see the 122 rev strap month. Magnitude's up there, 346.47. So currently it is at 318. So you still got range to go. And then the last one in here that I know about is tech, which is, you can see, not as strong. So we want to focus the 2 strong ones, NEM, SHW. We could go over the industrials, which we do see some setups into next week, but let's go into the scanning for next week now. And I mean by actionable setups for next week. So we go 2 down and green hammer. You'll see some industrials in there, specifically DE, I believe. Yeah, so you're going to have some industrials. Look at all the 2-2s setting up for next week. So we can start going through them. Got ADP. Notice your beautiful broadening formation and your 3 to reclaim. So we would like to know about that above this, 23947. Got a DE. We would like to know about that one, which we already knew about it off the inside day from the nightly vid, PMG, right? Sets up the week. So above this, 368.15, back through previous range. If we go to CHRW, never heard of her. You can see this. So big levels of reclaim up in here. It's going to have a hammer week. If we go to GPN, Groupon, didn't know that was an industrial, or maybe I'm wrong here. You can see, notice this one, it could 2-2 the month. So not saying you can't do it, but it's an inside month, so no thanks. If we go to PayX, you'll see this, and this is something we were pointing out that could set up, and it did. So slight lower lows in here. Hammer, RevStrat, magnitude's up there. So we'd want to know about that too. So PayX, DE, and then ADP, going to look really good. And we'll see if that goes for the industrials next week. If we then go to just in general, you can see if there's any other stuff. So there's some consumer defensive setting up. There's some healthcares, which we did not look at yet. So we'll look at defensive first, since the staples didn't do too much. Got Dollar Tree, KO, KVUE, Cured Dr. Pepper. So Dollar Tree, bottom of its range on the month. So could they recover? Yes. It'd be potential. What? Looks like they're still an inside month, so I'm not too interested in that. If we go to Coca-Cola still hasn't blown out last year's highs yet, so potentially that could get going. And KVUE. So this one, notice they did take the lows out and then hammer. So back into this equilibrium here on the week. That would be something to know about if we do start seeing the discretion or the staples get going. And then the last one there, Cured Dr. Pepper. Sorry if you hear my dog's feet upstairs, but you'll see this. So you get the subtrend here and then hammer week. So potentially if we do see them all break, then that's something we want to know about. You go on the month though, you're countering a RevStrat month. So you can see this is a counter signal. Not the best thing. It doesn't mean it can't work, but it has to stay in force or else you got to get out and flip short or just get out in general. If we go to the healthcares now to take a look, ABT in there. So you'll see this pivot machine gun weak did not make the slight lower low, but you got the try in here. So PMG above this stuff in the healthcares. And I want to choose the ones I know. If you want to go through the rest of these, you can do these scans here on the site yourself. MDT also makes a new low. We'd want to reclaim this and this previous 3 on the healthcares. And a little bit of a shooter there. So subtry on the daily could make this setup fail. And then United Health Services. So potential 2-2 week back into a 3, and I believe this one's right at the highs. Yeah, so at all-time highs. Looking at the month, try looks like this. So they're kind of trying to figure it out up here. So yeah, nothing to really write home about there. If we look for any 3-2-2s this week, only one there is Coca-Cola. If we look for the 2 up in red shooter, there is Dell. So Dell would be a 3-2-2. That would trigger an inside month down while the tech is potentially showing weakness next week. So we'll keep an eye on that. If we go to the 3-1s, already know AbbVie, already know Microsoft, already know Shop. And that's about it. The only one we didn't look at was ELV, I believe, which you can see chopping around a bit. And then the last thing I want to do is look for hammer full time frame continuity with a 2 to the upside. So you're going to see some momentum hammers with continuity. GoDaddy is the specific one I'd want to know about above this. 146.08. You only got it for a week, but it has been, obviously really going. So they could step up into that. And then LIN in the materials sector. Wouldn't call that a hammer. AON. Wouldn't really call that a hammer either. So really just GoDaddy with the Momo hammers next week. If we look at the downside now, potential 2-2s the next week. Notice it's a lot of tech. So if we go to technology sector, you see these are all your potential 2-2s. So QCOM, LRCX, KLAC, which we already knew a few of those. AVGO is there, ANET's there. Then you got AI and TSM. So this could be simultaneous break next week. We'll definitely keep an eye out for that. And if we go to shooter, I believe we already did this here, so we already know those. And that is going to be about it for the week. I know it's not as, I guess, clean and specific right away as the normal videos, but I'm trying to show you guys how the scanner works and how I'm using the scanner with the weekend videos, what I'm thinking, and I hope that serves you guys well. If you want me to switch back and just write up the whole list and put out a 6-minute video, perfectly fine by me. But I hope you guys enjoyed, and let me know in the comments what you think. And I'll see you guys in the Monday night nightly video. Have a good rest of your weekend.